Hi, this is Laura Belanger, meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, with your weather briefing for the week of June 6th. Tropical Storm Andrea is the big forecast story through next week. As of 11 a.m. today, Tropical Storm Andrea was about 180 kilometers south-southeast of Apalachicola, Florida, and moving northeast about 15 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds were 60 miles per hour. And the center of Tropical Storm Andrea is expected to reach the coast of Florida by later today. The model tracks for Tropical Storm Andrea show very little uncertainty through the weekend. The image shows the various guidance tracks for Tropical Storm Andrea with good consistency through the short term, with pulling the low through the southeastern Georgia area and into the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic states through early Saturday. The 11 a.m. National Hurricane Center official forecast track of Tropical Storm Andrea lines well with the model consensus shown on the previous slide. The far southeastern portion of the county warning area will be the area most impacted by Tropical Storm Andrea as it tracks from northern Florida and into the Carolinas by Friday morning. The Weather Prediction Center forecast rainfall for Andrea for the next 72 hours keeps the highest amounts across northern and northeastern Florida and along the Georgia and South Carolina coasts, with amounts near 5 inches or more. Now for Georgia, WPC is keeping the highest amounts along the track of the storm, generally along and south of a line from Valdosta to Waycross, with anywhere between 2 and 4 inches. Our local forecast differs somewhat compared to WPC due to the potential for showers and thunderstorms to develop along boundaries ahead of the storm. Now, our local forecast for the area through Friday is 1 to 2 inches across the area, with the highest amounts of 2 inches and locally higher amounts generally south of a Columbus to Macon line. This and other informational graphics can be found on our website at www.weather.gov/Atlanta. The expected rainfall amounts in combination with wet antecedent or pre-existing conditions are expected to result in potential flooding issues, especially across portions of central and eastern Georgia. Yesterday's rainfall amounts of 1.5 to 3 inches were observed across portions of the state, with localized higher amounts of 3 to 5 inches shown in the yellow and tan colors. In these wet areas, with an additional 1 to 2 inches or more, flooding could be an issue. A flood watch has been issued for portions of central and eastern Georgia in effect through 8 p.m. on Friday. In stronger bands of convection, flash flooding is also a concern. As Tropical Storm Andrea passes through the area, wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour or higher are possible across the far southeastern portion of the forecast area, shown here in the red circle. A wind advisory has been issued for this area in effect from 8 p.m. tonight through 2 a.m. Friday, shown in the blue outline. By Friday morning, models are in good agreement with moving Tropical Storm Andrea into South Carolina, with weak high pressure building in behind it. I've decided to show 2 of the models here, the GFS on the left and the ECMWF on the right. Although chances for rain do taper off as Andrea exits the region, lingering moisture could be enough to support afternoon convection. By Saturday morning, Tropical Storm Andrea is well up the east coast north of the mid-Atlantic states. Only slight chances of showers and thunderstorms are expected across Georgia. By Sunday, models differ a little more in position and timing, but both shown here do advertise the next low-pressure system over the northern plains. And by Monday morning, models move the low-pressure system eastward, dragging the associated frontal boundary to the Mississippi Valley and into the southeastern United States. Expect high chances of rain to return to the area by Monday and Tuesday as this frontal boundary impacts the region. So in summary, the main impacts from Tropical Storm Andrea will be the rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches or higher across the state. A flood watch has been issued through Friday at 8 p.m. for portions of central and eastern Georgia. Now, wind gusts are expected to be 20 to 30 miles per hour, and some higher wind gusts are possible. Now, a wind advisory has been issued for the far southeast portions of our county warning area. Isolated thunderstorms are expected, but in this tropical environment, we're expecting primarily periods of heavy rain. Gusty winds and frequent lightning can also be expected in any of those isolated thunderstorms. For this weekend, with weak surface high pressure, dry mid-levels, and low pressure aloft, we're expecting just slight chances for precipitation. Now, low pressure does approach us from the northwest into early next week, and Saturday and Sunday, temperatures are expected to remain near normal, with highs in the mid-80s and lows in the low to mid-60s. Now, in summary, through the weekend, Tropical Storm Andrea and her impacts are expected to exit the region to the east. Now, the front does move in Monday and Tuesday, with rain returning to the area, and by midweek next week, as high pressure does build back into the region, we are expecting nicer conditions. Thank you for viewing this week's webinar, and we'll see you next week.